Whoever takes the top job in the U.S. after the election will inherit a number of foreign wars funded by America's huge defense budget. Pressure on Iran is also mounting, with former presidential candidate Senator John McCain even calling for a military strike. RT's Christine Frizzell looks at why he and two other U.S. senators never back down from a fight.
They stick together through thick and thin, from the Queen's Land to the Holy Land, from the ball field to the battlefield. They are Senators Joseph Lieberman, Lindsey Graham, and John McCain. Seen frequently side by side, both physically and politically. The call for more war, a song almost on repeat for them.
These three haven't met a war that they don't like.
They led the charge to amp up Afghanistan.
We need more troops there, American troops.
IED attacks by the enemy have gone up about 1,000%.
In the words of Admiral Mullen, time is not on our side.
And they've been called everything from the Three Amigos, the Three Blind Mice, and the Axis of Error by the website downsizedc.org.
They tend to work together as a bloc. They're kind of an axis involved in foreign policy, kind of hearkening back to that old axis of evil that we heard about.
That foreign policy not just limited to Bush's wars. Here they are meeting with Libyan President Muammar Gaddafi in August of 2009, at a time when it was in the U.S. interest to call him friend. McCain later tweeted this, calling him interesting, but a year later wanted him gone.
If you want Gaddafi to go, then one of the steps, among many, would be to establish a no-fly zone.
Will the world stand by and allow a leader like Gaddafi slaughter his own people?
An ongoing target for them, Iran.
If we use military action against Iran, we should not only go after their nuclear facilities, we should destroy their ability to make conventional war. They should have no planes that can fly and no ships that can float.
We keep pointing the gun. We haven't pulled a single trigger yet, and it's about time that we did.
But 2 years on, that lack of immediate military action hasn't resulted in Armageddon or anything like it. Still, the calls for action expand, now across the globe.
The Iranian nuclear program is a threat to the entire world.
Foreign military intervention is now the necessary factor to reinforce this option. Assad needs to know that he will not win.
And now we find ourselves in virtually the same identical debate a year later about Syria. What's going on in Syria? What's happening, and how should we respond to it? And once again, I mean, almost with Pavlovian response, these guys come and say, well, we've got to go to war.
The mood of the American people may have shifted to ending the wars, but the perpetual lobby for war does have its supporters.
They're very popular with the military-industrial complex, which sees every new adventure, every new invasion, every new occupation, every new major bombing campaign as an investment.
But it's an investment fewer and fewer Americans are willing to make, as they've already lived through the consequences of the previous military adventures. In fact, critics say those who continue to follow Senators McCain, Lieberman, and Graham are blind themselves. They may hear the drumbeat for war, but they fail to see the bigger picture and the very real possibility of pitfalls ahead. In Washington, Christine Frizzell, RT.